Hey everybody, it's Steve with another episode of Keep 'em Rolling, and I figured I better shoot at least one video before the show of shows. It has been now a year since I have been in front of the camera, which is absolutely crazy. And so let's just see what happens with this. Now, I'm not going to go into excruciating detail about where I've been. I've thought long and hard about how to let all of you know, because I feel that it's just fair, when someone just kind of falls off the YouTube community and no one knows what's going on. So let's just say this, 2025 was a long year for me. Lots of interesting health things that came up, and the end result was I had heart surgery in mid-March and then a second round of heart surgery in mid-May. So you can see that, it was just kind of an interesting year, and I'm still recovering. There's a lot of things I'm feeling and going through, etc. So every day is just a new adventure. Good news is the doctors have all said that everything looks good. There's always a potential that I might have to have more surgery, but everything looks good. I'm not on any medication at this moment, and I feel like I'm starting to get my feet back under me, kind of. So we'll see what happens. So that's where I've been. And I can tell you that the surgery really took the wind out of my sails. I just didn't feel like doing a whole lot of really anything except going to work and just trying to maintain myself. I didn't do a whole lot of antiquing. I did find some fun stuff, and I'll be sharing all of that in future videos. So enough of that. Let's go on to what I want to share with you today. And it's a small grouping. I'm just going to hold the items up here for you to see. And it just goes to show that items are still out there. So if you're someone who's just getting into this hobby, or you've hit kind of a dry spell, just keep poking, keep pushing, and stuff will come your way, okay? And I guess I noticed my dress too. So this is the dress, because right now in Michigan, it is -2 out right now, and it's supposed to overnight be like -15. That's real temperature, not wind chill. So and I can already feel it. It is truly dangerous. So, but anyways, on to what happened. A person that I know met a person, and they got to talking, and that person said, I have some of my dad's military stuff. I don't know what to do with it. And that person that knows me said, I have the person you should talk to. They hooked us up, and this is what I got. This gentleman right here, his name, I haven't looked at this. Holy cow. I've got it right here. Hold on. There we go. His name is Lawrence J. Draghetti. Okay. What a great Italian name. And you can see by the tally on his cap there that he was in the U.S. Coast Guard. I got this right from his son. So we have this nice photo of him. This was actually taken at the Fort Custer Photo Shop in Battle Creek, Michigan. So I don't know why he was there, because he was actually from the Chicago area. So I don't know what he was doing in Battle Creek, if he was visiting or what have you. But we had this nice studio portrait of him. And then we have a couple wallet cards. And I love wallet cards because they really kind of tell a story about what the person was doing, what was important for them to keep. But there's stuff that just doesn't get saved. So it's neat when you do find them. The first one here, this is for the Coast Guard. It's Coast Guard Welfare in Washington, D.C. This one's dated September 24th, 1942. And what's interesting on here, it says, is a member of Battle Creek Unit. So I have not been able to sort that out yet. So hopefully I'll be able to figure out more about that tie between Fort Custer, which is in Battle Creek, him, Coast Guard, and then this card from the Coast Guard Welfare. Coast Guard Welfare was an organization that was put together by wives of officers in the Coast Guard, and they put this together as a kind of an organization where Coasties could visit and take part in certain recreational activities. So they might do like plays or music or what have you, and you could go and show your card and you could get in. So we have that. We have this Liberty Pass right here. See if we can get that to focus better. And what I found interesting about this, it's Liberty Pass, South Chicago, Anchorage, Lawrence J. Draghetti, which is Lawrence Joseph Draghetti, Seaman Second Class, and it's Roxy R. Cheyenne Commanding. And I thought, this has to be maybe a joke card, something that just was kind of a funny thing that he got, but it's too official for me to think that. But Roxy, I'm like, Roxy, even at that time, was a girl's name primarily. Well, like I said, primarily because Roxy Roy Cheyenne was actually a lieutenant in the U.S. Coast Guard. He was from Sault Ste. Marie, and he was in South Chicago. So he was the commanding officer, so that's a legit Liberty Pass. The South Chicago Anchorage was just south of the city, and it's still there, it's just not used anymore. So, and then finally we have this neat little card here. I'll just read it and then show it to you. It says, this is certified that the bearer, Lawrence J. Draghetti, Quartermaster 3rd Class, is attached to and serving on board the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Hollyhock, 401 East Greenfield Avenue, Milwaukee 4, Wisconsin. It's got the telephone number, commanding officer, gives his date of birth. This one's dated 1944, right there. And the Hollyhock was out of kind of the Green Bay area in Lake Michigan. And it was a buoy tender, so they'd go around, checking on the various equipment that was out in the lake for, navigation. So, love those wallet cards. He also had pictures. Now, the pictures helped kind of bring his story to life, because we have this picture right here of Mr. Draghetti. And then we have this picture of Mr. Draghetti and a friend. Same spot. Now, to me, that looked an awful lot like the Aleutian Islands. I was like, it just has that look about it. So I did some digging, and sure enough, I found out that those buildings match up exactly to a place called Loran Station, or Lorain Station. It's Loran, Loran Station. And Loran is kind of I can't think of the term. It's not an abbreviation. Basically, it stands for Long Range Navigation. So LO, long, RA, range, and N for navigation. And it was a kind of a base that was established in Adak, Alaska, ADAK, in 1943. And it was a Coast Guard base. So that's where he was at. He was up there in the Aleutian Islands during the war. And he said it served a big purpose during kind of that battle between the Japanese and the American forces over the Aleutian Islands, which it's kind of an unsung part of our World War II history. So I'm like, that's gotta be, it's gotta be that place, Loran Station in Adak. But there was nothing written on the photos, and his son really didn't know. Well, then his son found this little picture as he was continuing his cleaning, and it's a neat kind of little like barracks type building. But on the back it reads quarantine hut in Adak. So there you go, quarantine hut in Adak. And I was able to find that once again looking at old pictures of Loran Station and verify that. So we have these neat pictures which puts him at kind of once again, an obscure but crucial battle field for the United States during World War II. Now here's where I'm hoping all of you can help me, because I have this series of photos that also came with this of ships. We've got this one right here. Looks like we're in the Aleutian Islands still. Looks to me like it's a destroyer. We have this one right here. Same ship. There and there. Just a different view. Looks like they're even in the same anchorage. And then we have this one, which is a totally different type of photo. Once again, it looks like the same ship. Now, I have scanned these. I have zoomed in, on the bow, trying to see numbers. And the only number that I can find on this vessel is right there. And it looks like the number, I think it's the number 6. Yeah, it's the number 6. Let's see if we can get that to focus in there. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Perfect. You just have to fool the camera. That's the only thing on the ship. And I have not been able to track that down as far as, is that, it's U.S., but what is that vessel? So if anyone has any idea or suggestions, let me know. I've tried searches for Coast Guard vessels in Adak. I've tried, Navy vessels in Adak, number 6, so, and it has not hit. So let me know. But it all came together, and this is not put together. You know, he told me that they were just cleaning out things, and this was pretty much all that was left of his father's service during World War II. They don't have any use for it, and he was glad to find it a good home. Now, that's not the only pieces we got. I also got I also received two artifacts. And the first is this really nice Coast Guard Good Conduct Medal. It's a beautiful wartime example. So again, let's see if we can get that to focus. There we go. Isn't that nice? It's not engraved, unfortunately. But once again, it came right out of the family. You see the hanger on there says U.S. Coast Guard. It's that nice World War II era catch and stuff on the back. So, I mean, in an antique shop, it'd be fun to find that just because you don't see a lot of Coast Guard stuff, but to know that it goes with this and it belonged to Joseph Draghetti is great. And then we also got this really, beautiful Aereo. Beautiful U.S. Coast Guard Honorable Discharge pin. It's like blue enamel on gold. And I like this one because this one's actually, it's not just a button. It's actually a two-piece. So you can see that, here we go, how that unscrews. So just a neat little piece. But yeah, is it a monumental grouping? No, but the way I look at it, I don't care how big or how small. When someone comes to me and says, I have something I think you're gonna like. My dad was in the Navy in World War II. I'm immediately like, I don't care what it is. This is awesome. This is just like Christmas to get something like this. And they're still looking. They're hoping to maybe to find a few more pieces or find out a little more history on their dad. And if they do, I'll update all of you. But yeah, stuff is out there. Put the word out. I know it's difficult sometimes because maybe you don't want people to know what you're doing necessarily, but put the word out. Let coworkers know casually, let family know casually, because once again, you just never know when something like this is going to find you. So on that note, it's good to be back. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that all the healing will continue on kind of an upward trajectory. I'm hoping to see a lot of you at the Show of Shows. I know it's kind of weird this year that the show is in January, and I know that there's just a lot of bad weather right now. I mean, it looks like most of it's going to happen before the show. Fingers crossed. And it's going to make this year seem kind of off just because I'm used to the show and then, you're kind of starting to get into spring versus the show and then you have to get through the whole month of February. But regardless, I'm excited. I was able to go last year despite the medical issues, but I just didn't have fun because I didn't feel good. So this year I'm hoping to have a great time. So, if you see me, want to hang out, whatever, I'd love to see how everybody's doing. So on that note, I got nothing else to share at this moment except that I do have some awesome videos coming to you in the future of some fantastic, really historic finds. So this has been Steve, wishing all of you a great 2026 and reminding all of you to, keep them rolling.